Okay, I think maybe...
Oh, then they still did with other diagnostic.
Yes, in terms of the
jobs,
current
yeah.
conditions, yes.
So, in 1994, when the transition happened to now the inclusive electoral system, unemployment was 20%.
Yes.
And a lot of our people had some means of self-sustenance in small-scale agriculture and a variety of other activities. But there was relatively industrial zones which were far much more expansive than is the case now. Now in South Africa, the expanded definition of unemployment puts us at more than 40% of unemployment. So under apartheid, you would have the major economic centers employing a lot of migrant workers. And then as part of population control, the apartheid government also got to subsidize a lot of industries in the homelands. So you had industries in the Transkei, in the Ciskei, in Bophuthatswana, in various sectors, in Venda, in Gazankulu, like proper industrial activities which were employing people in virtually all parts of South Africa. Even in the KwaZulu homeland, you had a lot of factories that were operational. So the levels of unemployment were far much lower because there was labor-absorptive industrial activity and factories that were employing our people. But then the neoliberal policies that got to be adopted or imposed on the ANC government since 1994, they took them voluntarily.
Yeah, this idea of a helpless ANC the West is pushing. I think those guys believed wholeheartedly. To this day, President Thabo Mbeki speaks very passionately about these policies. Why don't you give it to them?
Yeah, it's twofold. Like they were willing slaves of the neoliberal agenda because, for instance, the adoption of the growth, employment and redistribution strategy, which was the most neoliberal perspective in 1996, was not wholly a domestic affair. It was actually imposed from elsewhere in terms of this is what South Africa should do. And that also interlinks to what got to happen in the transition, the loan which was taken from the IMF and the conditionalities that came thereof. Now, I want to link what just got to be the consequence of the adoption of GEAR and neoliberal policies. What those meant is that the state should lift all the subsidies and protection which was given to the industries, including the homeland industries, and factories, which, by the way, were protected by apartheid government to be self-sustainable, to have tax incentives, to be financially viable. Then the post-1994 government was then in a policy environment that says that remove all those protections in favor of global competition, in favor of a global economy. You will import things if you need, you do not need to produce them. And that eroded thousands, if not millions of jobs in South Africa. It deindustrialized South Africa in a massive way, such that South Africa's economy is perennially not labor absorptive. It's not labor absorptive in a manner that is sustainable. Hence, there is now the over-celebration of social grants being the biggest recipients of government expenditure, instead of the wage being the means to redistribute the wealth of our country. So that is one of the issues that got to happen. So joblessness is a reality which was inflicted on our people, on generations, by an incapable and directionless government that did not have the foresight to see that neoliberalism is going to condemn you to permanent joblessness like we have currently.
And the state of public infrastructure,
the state of public infrastructure as well, it's collapsing. Yes, then we inherited electricity infrastructure, particularly the energy generation level, which was primarily positioned to